This is episode 136, 7 Rules for a Good Life. Welcome to Alive by Design. My name is Blake Mallon, and we're here to bring you inspiring people, principles, and practices to help you wake up, move toward your meant to, and feel fully alive. Open your mind and let's dive in. Hey guys, before you listen to the podcast, I just want to drop in and say I appreciate you for being here, and I'm super excited about this new Walk With Me series. These are solo episodes where I take some time in the middle of my morning run through the Santa Monica Mountains to share some inspired ideas and thoughts on my mind and heart. If you want to join me for any of these conversations live, you can catch me many mornings on my Facebook page, facebook.com/blakemallon.page. Would love to see you there. Love you guys. Enjoy the episode.
Walk with me. So I just got back from a really fun trip with my family out in Punta Cana. That's in the Dominican Republic, out there kind of in between the Atlantic and Caribbean Oceans. Amazing trip. Great combination of some quality family time, Karis and kids, some beauty on the beach and pools, some adventure, some fun, some friends, all around an awesome experience. Good to be back recharged with you all today. And I was walking on the beach and shot a quick little video on the 7 rules I have for living a good life. And I posted it, and it ended up becoming one of my most shared Instagram reels and TikToks. Total side note, if we're not connected on Instagram or TikTok and you're on those platforms, hey, go find me at Blake Mallon. Connect, send me a message, say hello, don't be a stranger. And being that it got shared so much, I figured I'd spend some time with you all today and not only share those 7 rules, but expand on what each of those mean and why I felt those are kind of the 7 main focuses for not just living life, not just getting by, but really having what I would call a good life, a happy life, a life worth not just surviving, but thriving, not just living, but enjoying. And if it's okay with you guys, I want to expand on those 7 here today. But before I give you mine, what are yours? Yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot. What are yours? If I were to ask you for some rules you try and aspire to live by, to have a good life, what rules come to mind? Go ahead and throw some comments, and I'll go ahead and share mine. 7 of them, if that's okay with all of you guys. Starting with rule number 1. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. For those of you guys who have kids right now, I apologize if I have Princess Elsa and song stuck in your head. That's not where it came from. But the lesson still applies. When I say let it go, what's it? You know exactly what it is. Anything that is triggering you, anything that is hijacking your emotions in a negative way, and those emotions might be resentment toward a person or a thing or a circumstance. It might be a regret. It might be an anger or a rage, right? It might be a hate or a dislike. All of that is too much weight for you to be carrying in any moment, let alone for days or weeks or however long you've had it on your back. Let it go. Let it go. Life's not meant to be lived carrying all of that weight. But Blake, you don't know what this person did. It doesn't matter. I'm not telling you to let it go for them. I'm telling you to let it go for you. It's not worth it. Carrying all of that, whether the situation is right or wrong, is good or bad, it doesn't matter. The outcome is the same, and it's draining you. Letting it go doesn't mean that you're wrong. It doesn't mean that they're right. It just means that you realize it's not healthy for you to carry that weight, regardless of the situation. But I don't want to forgive, right? I don't want to let it go. Guys, that's hurting you more than it's hurting anybody else. And letting it go doesn't mean that you're giving in to, whatever happened. It doesn't mean you're saying it was correct. And I'm not saying, don't misunderstand me, that you're not going to learn from it and do your best to not allow it to happen again. You're not going to run back to what broke you. I'm not saying keep yourself in a toxic relationship or toxic environment or situation you shouldn't be in. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying the weight that you're carrying isn't worth it. Let it go. Let it go. Grab the lesson and move on. It's not worth letting a bad yesterday ruin a good today. So lesson 1, let it go. Number 2, when I talk about rules for a good life, stop trying to please everyone. If I were to be openly and brutally honest with all of you, this is one I've struggled with and continue to struggle with the most. How many of you all are like me? You're people that like to make others happy. And we get in this situation where, we're trying to please everyone around us. We're trying to get, oh, look at this. I don't even know what this is. I'll show you guys this. This is just a crazy. I've never seen a bug like this. What is that? That guy's giant. Anybody know what that is? Ah! Oh my God. I don't know what that was. He was pretty until he flew and tried to attack me. But when it comes to pleasing everyone, here's the reality. It's a no-win situation. Let's be real. As much as I would love and hope that someday some generation gets to live in a world that has genuinely no judgment, man, that would be an amazing place. We're far from that today, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. And to believe that we live in that world would be naive. People are going to judge. People are going to judge you. People are going to have opinions of you and what you do and what you say. People are going to judge and have opinions of you that haven't even met you. And that's just going to be how it is. And when people judge and have opinions, no matter who you are and what you do and what the situation is, there's going to be people that are on your side and like you, and there's going to be people that aren't, right? And that don't. There's going to be people that you can please, and there's going to be people that you can't, no matter what you do or how hard you try. And the deeper we go down this rabbit hole, we could really realize that, at the end of the day, people's judgment and perception is more about them and who they are. It's more about their experiences and references up until this point. It's more about what they're in the middle of and what they're going through, all of which you cannot see and you will not ever know. So what they say or think or do about you is much more a reflection about them and their situation than it is about you. And if we get overly consumed with constantly seeking that type of approval, that validation, that affirmation from everybody, it's an impossible equation. It's an impossible equation. So you have to learn to just stop trying to please everyone. You're not going to make everyone happy. You cannot tie your identity, your validation, your self-love to the approval of anyone, let alone everyone. So often we seek the approval of everybody because if we don't get their approval, somehow it triggers a fear that we are not good enough, right? We are not enough. Somehow deep down it's linked to if everybody doesn't love us, we're not only not good enough, that we won't be loved or aren't deserved to be loved. Like, this stuff goes deep rooted in so many of us. And that fear we have to learn to get over, or we will constantly be on a hedonic treadmill, a never ending rat race that you cannot win. And on the flip side of the coin, we're all always going to have people that are your people. Your people are and will always be your people, the people that love you for you, the people that are around you because of who you really are, the people that don't need anything from you, aren't trying to get anything from you, don't need you to do anything from them. They are your people because they are your people with all the imperfection and without any of the conditions. And you guys, that's what we have to understand is we got to be ourselves for ourselves. And being ourselves for ourselves, we'll attract the people that are meant for us. So, bottom line, stop trying to please everyone. You're never going to make everyone happy. And just know your people are always going to be your people. Number 3, this is a big one today. Number 3, third rule for a good life. Stop comparing. And this one, I think, with the rise of social media, giving us a lens into a crafted world of everyone around us, right? A selected picture, right? A very filtered, right, pun intended, perspective of how people are living has made this even challenging, right, for so many people today. And when we say stop comparing, we can't compare, right, our story to somebody else's. We can't compare, right, where we're at in a certain path to everybody else around us. And the reality is we only see bits and pieces. And so often we're stuck comparing, right, a certain situation where it's our chapter 2 versus somebody else's chapter 20. You can't compare somebody's chapter 20 to your chapter 2. We're not even the same story. You know, every one of us have our own unique set of talents and gifts. That is true. That is a fact. That is undeniable. You listening to this, watching this, have been given and blessed with a certain unique set of talents and gifts. We all have it, but what's amazing is we all have different talents and gifts. And so often we find ourselves comparing something that maybe is outside our gift zone in an area where we're in somebody else's gift zone, and not even giving any acknowledgement or credit or appreciation or gratitude for the gifts that we have that we can do so much better. You know, there's an awesome meme, I'm sure you've seen it. It's gone viral many times for many years, where there's a goldfish in a fishbowl staring at a monkey in a tree. And the goldfish stares at the monkey in the tree saying, "Man, I wish I could climb a tree." And obviously the lesson in the meme is the goldfish can swim. But if a goldfish spent his entire life wishing it were a monkey that could climb a tree, it would neglect why it was created, what it was designed for, what it was meant to do. Don't spend your life realizing that you've been given and blessed a tremendous amount of ability and skill and constantly comparing to people around you climbing trees you weren't meant to climb. So we got to stop comparing. At the end of the day, the only person we should be trying to be better than is the person we were yesterday. And if we constantly focus on our own progress, right, our own pursuit of better, right, constantly growing, constantly getting outside our comfort zone, constantly building our own, right, layers of skill and ability, overcoming our own fears, that's the game that we should be playing, not comparing ourselves to others. And you guys, social media can be an amazing tool and an amazing access point of inspiration and information, unlike anything. I mean, it is an uncanny advantage, right, for us living in this day and age, but it can also be a trap where we sit there and judge ourselves based on a false reality, a false perception, a 1 of 1% view, the perfect picture of what we think someone's life is, when you don't see the 99.9% on the other side. And that's just not fair. Constantly using that as your measuring stick. It is a fake measuring stick of life. So ditch it. Stop comparing, right? Be joyful for other people. Be happy for other people. Celebrate other people's wins. Stop using it as a measuring stick to create a layer of guilt, right? Or limiting beliefs around yourself and focus on you of yesterday and how do you improve and how do you pursue better. It's going to lead you to a good life. So that's my lesson, or rule number 3. Let's talk about number 4. Number 4, here's a good one. Here's an easy one. You ready? Number 4, take a deep breath. Matter of fact, let's just do that right now. I don't care where you are or what you're doing. All right, let's just pause real quick and take a deep breath together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Doesn't that just feel good? The reason I say that's a rule, because it doesn't matter what we're going through, doesn't matter how bad we think the situation is, stay calm. Relax. You're gonna be okay. Here's what I know of every one of you, and I don't know who's watching from what parts of the world or even what time it is there, but I know this to be true. You are here, which means you have made it through every storm that's been put in front of you. You have overcome every struggle that you faced. You have conquered every challenge, and I bet you've been through some stuff. Am I right? Look at how far you've come. Look at what you've overcome. Look at who you've become to get this far. You've made it this far. It's a pretty damn good record. 100% of the things put in front of you, you've made it through. 100%. How's that for a success statistic? Guys, you've made it through all of the storms and you are here. 100% is a pretty good score. You're going to make it through whatever it is you're going through. Take a deep breath. Stay calm. Relax. You're going to be okay. Number 5. Let's talk about number 5. This is a big one. This one goes back to Stoic philosophy. We're talking some of the most rooted, right, principles when it comes to mental health, personal growth, right? Stoics were some of the foundation of some of the best thinking in the genre, the OGs, so to speak, of personal development, of living the good life. Number 5, focus on what you can control. You guys, I know it's a black and white way of looking at the world, but it is a truth. There are only 2 buckets. 2 buckets in life. 2 containers that everything goes in. And it can only go in one or the other. One container, things you can control, right? Things you really, truly have influence over. Things that are in your realm, right, of doing something about. That's the bucket you can control. And then the other bucket, that's where you put the things you can't control. You can't control. Sorry to break the news to many of you out there. There's so many of us that fall into the control freak bucket. Trust me, I've been there. I go in and out of it. Some of my close family and friends do as well. We all do. But it sounds pretty crazy to spend your life trying to control things outside of your control. Talk about a way to insanity. Driving yourself crazy, leaving yourself frustrated, anxious, depressed, trying to control things outside of your control. Just put it in the bucket. Those are things you can't control. There are things you cannot and will not ever be able to control. You don't have influence over those things. You cannot change them. No matter what you do, it's not going to create an effect. No matter how much you stress, think, worry, right, concern, or try, it's not going to adjust the outcome. No matter what you think or tell yourself. I mean, it's a giant steel metal wall that you keep banging your head against, trying to get through. It's not going to budge. How much longer are you going to sit there and try to bang your head against a movable wall? Don't live your life that way. It's not the way to the good life. Just say, hey, that's the other bucket. That's the bucket of things I cannot control right now, and let it go. Focus on the things you can control. When you're in a circumstance you cannot control, focus on the things within that circumstance you can control. You can control your perception. You can control your mindset. You can control your attitude. You can control certain elements within any situation, but focus on the things you can control. At the end of the day, it's not worth wasting even one single little bit of your energy on things that are outside of your control. Number 5, happiness. Number 6, happiness is a choice. And to get more specific, not only is happiness a choice, happiness is your choice, nobody else's. There is nobody else in charge of your happiness. It's not your mom's job. It's not your dad's job. It's not your wife or husband's job. It's not your bestie's job. It's not your boss's job. It's nobody else's job to make you happy. Right? Happiness is your choice and your choice alone. It's on you. It's not on anybody else. So at the end of the day, you got to get to a point where you make that decision that you're going to choose to be on the side of happiness. And lastly, number 7, rule number 7, make moments matter. Here's what's funny. We have time. It's the end of the day, the only thing we have. Yet we don't remember most of the time that we have. Think about your last 24 hours. Think about your last 7 days. Think about your last year. What percentage, right, of the minutes that go by do you actually remember? Not much of it. Matter of fact, most of it. Most of your life will be time that goes by that you have no recollection or no memory of. Isn't that crazy? What we do remember is we do remember the moments, right? The moments are what we remember. I don't know about you guys. When I was a kid, I had I think it was called a viewfinder. It was like a red set of strange plastic binoculars, and you put these circular photos inside of them, and you press the little yellow button, and it clicked a slideshow. How many of you guys remember the viewfinder, Viewmaster, I think it was called? It's kind of a good analogy for how life works. At the end of the day, all we're going to have is moments. We're going to have a few sets of those reels, moments that we remember. And that's the string that is our life, those memories. So we got to ask ourselves, well, what's the difference between a minute that goes by and a moment that we remember? The minutes are gone in a second, right? The moments last forever. And the difference between a minute that goes by and a moment that remember at the end of the day is just the intention that we choose to put in it when we're in it. And that's it. It's to stop and be present. It's to turn off looking backwards, to stop stressing about what's to come ahead. It's to sit in the present, in the moment, and enjoy whatever it is you're doing, wherever it is you're at, and whoever it is you are with. And that type of intention can turn any minute into a moment that you remember forever. Be a collector of moments. Be a collector of moments, because at the end of the day, all the things go away. At the end of the day, the moments are all we really truly have. Matter of fact, the collection of moments is and will be what we call our life. So, rule number 7, make moments matter. So, here's what I got for you guys, 7 of them. Let it go. Stop trying to please everyone. Stop comparing. Take a deep breath. You're going to be okay. Focus on what you can control. Happiness is your choice. And make moments matter. So that's my list for living a good life. Until the next time we walk together, hope all of you guys have an amazing, amazing day. And hey, choose to live a good life. You only get one of them. Might as well be a good one. Till the next time we walk together and talk together, take care, everybody.
Hey guys, one last thing. I'm super excited that this new podcast, Alive by Design, just went live. You see, I designed the show to bring you inspired thoughts and fascinating conversations with the world's most impactful people, to provide transformative principles and practices to help you wake up, move toward your meant to, and feel fully alive. And I'd love for you to help me spread the word now. Simply subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on this platform right now. So if I've ever given you value, please do me this personal favor and go subscribe now. And if you found today's episode helpful in any way, make sure you share this with at least one friend today. You have the power right now to change someone's day. So send them a text message with a link to alivebydesign.com, or simply copy and paste the link right from this podcast platform. Who's one person you know right now that you want to see succeed, that you want to see grow, that you want to see feel more alive? Shoot them a text with your largest takeaway from today and be a light in their day. And if you were referred here by a friend, make sure you shoot them a text back and say thank you. I'd love to hear from you directly on what you got from today's podcast. So if you're up for it, drop by my Instagram at Blake Malin and shoot me a DM. And as always, thank you for showing up. I'm grateful for you, and I hope our time together today in some small way helped you feel a little more alive. Until next time.